Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the RigelInvestor.co's Daily Brief. Monday morning, back in the saddle after a fun weekend. We had kind of a fun broiler chicken show. I don't know whether I blogged it out, though. God, I'm getting terrible at that now. But we did do it as a public show, so you can always grab that. I'm sure people were posting it in the lounge and stuff. I'll try and add it to today's daily brief. I don't know how the hell I'll do it, but anyway, welcome back to the craziness. If anything, my advice to all of you guys, and I'm a little concerned because I do see some people, they're so wrapped up in the minutia and the stress and trying to take advantage of the bull and not letting anything slip through their fingers that you're actually missing the experience. If anything, I think we all, especially crypto enthusiasts, you all have to sort of pat yourself on the back. We've come a long way, baby, all that kind of talk. And we finally had this big fundamental event happen. And I would argue sort of, Bitcoin is now grown up. Welcome to the bigs, everybody, Yay! What I find so funny though is you turn on CNBC. When's it gonna crash? Okay, what's gonna happen? It's like, wow, just maybe just step back and just appreciate what's happened here in this space. And the great part about it, guys, is what I see is capital is flowing into this space, into this asset. It's not flowing out. I suppose one could argue what sort of brought a halt to that last, insane sort of rally, Mt. Gox days, of course, was the hack and the scandal. And so I've said sort of all along that that's what I think is going to sort of bring an end to the bull itself. At the same time, too, though, I think, technically speaking, we have been moving into this fundamental event. I think we were a little bit mistaken yesterday. We had some people were posting links showing that the CME would be listing the product tomorrow, actually today, but it turns out it was listed yesterday. So we had some confusion about that. But I was sort of tweeting out as I saw the futures contracts come on the board and stuff. So I do believe they are quote unquote alive. And we were posting, they were doing some pretty good volumes, probably within the first, few hours of trading, good, we said at least 500 contracts, and these are 5 Bitcoins at, roughly $18,000, $19,000 a piece. So, just the nominal value of the open interest was like $50 million. So, it's very healthy and good to see. And ironically enough, last night I sort of made the comment, and, I don't know whether people understood my tweet. Of course, Brian's a little bit crazy sometimes with his messages. But it gets misinterpreted. But anyway, I put out this tweet. Where the hell is it? How do you do this? So go here. Sorry, bear with me here a second. Tweets. There we are. That I kind of felt like. And Mo, I thought it was really cool. Stuart showed me this sweater image this morning, and then Mo, of course, goes and creates the TRI ones. I thought that was awesome. Big shout out to Mo, of course, Mr. PMA for the win. That's beautiful. Where was it? I am getting the feeling, when I saw what I really saw last night, which was really interesting, was I saw them, the market opened up, and this is Stamp, but what was really interesting is watching the price action. We don't have real time on the CME futures contract, so I suppose I better subscribe for that. So I was just watching the price action off of Stamp, and I noticed that the trading on Stamp itself started to act. I haven't seen this trading in a long time. It was weird. It was like the market was in rally mode and people were feeling optimistic. And then, this candle opened up. It actually, it opened up a little lower, and then they pressed it higher. And you know, things were looking really uppy, and then all of a sudden I started to see just the market just got whacked right down into here, like somebody just cleaned out all the bids. The market just sort of shook it off initially and then worked its way back up, and somebody whacked it again. And so and this happened like in like a 20-second time frame, just lightning's fast. And I was like, whoa, I haven't seen that since my days of trading futures. And of course, considering, you know, trade location, what a shock. What was really cool is you go back and you look at this and you can go, well, it's completely understandable why the market failed here. Reload zones off of this range, the POC, right? The original institutional footprint, fingerprint right up in here. It just made perfect sense. And of course, when I saw that specific price action, it was weird. I had like a total deja vu, sort of like, holy shit, I haven't seen this in years. So it was really interesting. And of course, I also noticed too that, you know, this level here, this happened to be a 38.2 off of that range that we had sort of talked about in yesterday's Broiler Chicken show as probably pretty good odds that we were going to come back into that 38.2. Then it just sort of bounced right off of that. So I was noticing, and you know, in the GIF and the tweet, I think really this is what I'm seeing is now we have these people now participating, and we're in this market state. So these guys are doing this with Bitcoin right now. I hope that makes sense. And I think if anything, guys, yeah, you're going to have to sort of get used to this new environment. Bitcoin has changed, I think. You know, this is a really important coming out party here. You know, I think it's probably a good idea for you just to give the market a nice maybe sort of week or two to let it breathe and sort of figure out where these guys want to take the market. The big thing that I need to wait for now is the damn options on the CME contracts. So as soon as the options become available, then I can actually start doing some serious hedging. I don't know. I haven't had any word out on the sort of, you know, expected time frame for that. I don't think this thing craps out just right away. There's going to be a bunch of back and forth, and what I just see here now is we're getting into absolute cliche trading. So did you notice that, you know, like we said, this was a 38.2, a higher time frame of 38.2, this one here. It was also a reload zone off of this range itself. And then, of course, we can drill down and we look at the time of day. What time of day is this bottom here? Does this sort of look familiar at all to anybody? I don't know whether your time frames, if you're on the Pacific coast, this is basically our Asian kill zone. No, New York would be over, and we'll get to that because that's, last night, actually, I did a picture of this, and I thought it was so cool because it totally described this perfectly. But I hope everybody can see here that they brought the market right down into a reload zone of a reload zone. Like I said earlier, the trading I'm seeing now is very fluid, very algo, very everything that I've taught you guys in the course. Before we sort of saw it loosey-goosey, now we're going to see it in spades. So does everybody see this reload zone off of this range here? And look at this, we got this 38.2, top of this reload zone, bottom of this reload zone, 78.6. I mean, guys, if you want to fucking make a fortune leverage trading this shit, man, this is the shit. So, you know, I think the day traders, hey, there's Bud. Hi, Thomas. And actually, speaking of which, what do you think we should do here, Thomas? Do we want to call it the Thomas Report? We created a little tab for Thomas. He's going to sort of try and do like sort of a daily report for you guys of what he's sort of thinking and seeing in the market. And so I've just created this sheet on our weekly watch list of Thomas's thoughts, and he's given us some stuff to talk about. So what do we want to call it? The Thomas Report, Thomas's thoughts, Thomas's 2 cents, daily picnic basket. Yeah, well, that's a good one. I like that. So you got a microphone there, Slick?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Hey, there he is. Yeah, all right. So give us your thoughts. What do you think's going on here?
Well, I think we've seen the entrance of the big boys. I think what Brian's been saying is totally right. They kind of, what I was really expecting to see was on Friday at the close of the New York market, I was expecting things to go back toward that close zone. Let me see if I can share my screen here.
Yeah, what chart do we
chart and channel.
Do you want me to be loading up these charts as you're chatting away, or do you want to screen share?
Actually, that would help because my other computer doesn't have a microphone on it, so I'm kind of handicapped here.
Okay, so I've just loaded up this screen.
Yeah, so that blue line right there, that's where the New York market closed at. And I was really expecting to see price come back into there. But now that we're seeing a different market here. We're seeing the big boys playing around. And I don't think they wanted to dip it down there because they wanted to get a piece of the action when the market opened up this morning. I'm going to share.
Yeah, actually, well, so I'll just add to that the thought that I was just going to have here was it looked to me like they bottomed the market through the Tokyo kill zone. Then they rallied it up into the London kill zone. And then they just brought it right back down into the original Tokyo kill zone through New York this morning. So that's sort of what I was seeing here. And it was funny because our the level 1 program, we have a slide sort of describing the kill zones, and it looks almost exactly like this. It's almost textbook. So anyway, yeah, and I'll let you finish. Sorry, Chief.
No worries. And as Brian was highlighting, you can kind of see these fibs. I mean, they're playing right into what we're learning here. You can see that this is where they bottomed the market at the Tokyo time, the Asian kill zone area. And they just brought the market straight back up to a reload zone. You're right in the middle of 61.8 and 78.6. And they just hit it hard. I mean, you can see on the futures market, this thing pulled back pretty hard. And we've done nothing since 7 o'clock Eastern time but come back down again. So I'd argue that as soon as the New York guys woke up, they're like, well, let's load the boat. And here we're working our way down here. I think the interesting levels are going to be down in here to see if they want to play around with what was reversed here, or if they want to put in a W and keep going higher. This is probably one of the key levels that I've been watching since last night, and just watching it bounce off this level downward kind of completes the idea that New York was going short. So we got to wait and see. You have to wait and see if they're going to bring it down further and make another M here, or if they're going to reverse it back up and create a nice little W and just keep zooming to new highs. We really don't know what they want to do. And frankly, we don't want to act until we see what they've done. And if they break this level, I mean, I'd be loading up shorts pretty heavily, more so here. And this is just a...
You see my trend line break here on my screen?
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting. Is that on a 1 hour trend? Where's that trend line start?
That's going back off of these key double bottoms.
Interesting.
So
yeah, I mean, I would
think that you know, we could argue, you know, those people like the Ron Jeremy setup, hunting structure following a trend line break. I actually think if we lose this low here that was put in, that's probably going to open up the floodgates. It's going to be a little dangerous. You know, you're chasing the market here, but I could very easily see the market dump here. Yeah. It's not a trade I would take. A little bit poor trade location, but I could definitely see if we break this thing, we could get into a bit of free folly here.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see if they're going to defend that low from overnight, the Asian low. I mean, someone over there decide. I mean, who knows? Maybe they're all acting in unison here, where Asia and New York are passing the ball back and forth to load up their
Well, yeah.
positions. But
And off of things like Stamp, and it's going to be really interesting to watch us over the next week or two to see like who's more correlated with who. We should probably, these are Stamp and OKCoin. We should probably keep an eye on how the Phoenix boys are feeling, and what their chart's looking like. It'd be really like, is CME going to include Phoenix in their index, or are they sort of like specifically excluding them?
I didn't see who they were excluding. Maybe someone else has that info. But
So yeah, you can see the bull bear battle lines on Phoenix are being set up here, right? So if we fractal here, then I think we have to go into consolidation mode. So yeah, I think your point that you made just a minute ago is, right now, poor trade location. We have to sort of let this thing play itself out. And, I suppose those that did have the cojones to hit that reload short off of this dead cat bounce, that's some pretty fine trading. And, of course, we do have this M-top. Like somebody had asked me just this morning, said, well, do you think that CME was a non-event? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I mean, that to me looks like, buy the rumor. Now we're basically in sell the news mode right now.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you made the point that you saw Stamp kind of change gears and started to see more algorithmic trading.
Yeah.
I noticed something a little somewhat similar on OKCoin, where once the futures went live, OKCoin started following whatever the futures price was doing.
And that getting to, bitch.
Very, very. So I'm really curious to see how this behaves, because OKCoin has made a lot of serious investment into building their product and attracting high net worth individuals. And to see their product track the futures was a little concerning, and it makes me a little bit worried about the future of their product. There needs to be a lot of... What's that?
OKCoin themselves?
Yeah.
Well,
they launched this new product. They wanted to be separate because of the Chinese regulation, but they also brought in a lot of individual investors. Some top firms came in and pumped some money in.
Yeah. I think, there's always going to be a need for a counterweight to something like CME. So ironically enough, and also too, just because they tell the public something, that doesn't necessarily mean what's going on in the back room. I wouldn't be surprised if the Chinese officials themselves, they have some of these like white knight investors and stuff, but they're really puppets of the government. And really, if anything, it's kind of like North Korea. I could see that OKCoin could be used as sort of like a backdoor leveraging tool with the Americans, kind of like North Korea is like a little leveraging tool the Chinese use just to piss the Americans off whenever they want to. So I think that there is a political purpose, but I think you make a really good point. And really the question ultimately, if in my eyes, is going to be if we can get these options listed on CME contracts, then a lot of what the casino does is going to become sort of irrelevant. And if we have commitments to traders reports on the CME contracts, that's going to become irrelevant. One question I have for you is, have you ever taken delivery on an OKCoin contract? Is it actually Bitcoins or is it just a cash settlement?
Yeah, and that's kind of what I wanted to talk about. Is to answer your question, it is Bitcoin. They deliver Bitcoin. And that's the one thing that separates these two markets, is that with the CME, CBOE, and whatever options product they're going to launch, they're not going to deliver Bitcoin. And I think that's what's going to keep these types of exchanges like Bitstamp, Bitfinex, OKCoin going, because they are delivering the actual Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So that brings up another interesting point, in that Are these financial institutions acquiring Bitcoin in order to hedge their risk here, or in order to back whatever purchasing that they're doing, whether that's shorting or going long? I
I
think
think
that we saw
I
a
think
couple weeks ago
half of
that,
the reason why we saw this rally was, you call it buy the rumor, but I would just simply say that a lot of houses, Goldman Sachs, Merrill Lynch, J.P. Morgan, even they had to build an inventory of Bitcoin to be able to transact in this business. And I thought it was really interesting. Yellen the other day, she was kind of like, "Well, I'm not." I got the subtle message I got was, "I'm not going to comment on Bitcoin, but I'm going to make damn certain the banks that I oversee, if they're going to play in this space, they're not going to fuck us all over." That's the message that I heard. So I wouldn't be surprised if people that want to play in this space had to build up a bit of an inventory. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
no, that's cool. And I think that's the one thing that separates this product from the other futures products, is that the other futures products have been accepted to be traded on paper. And I'm not sure if that's going to fly with Bitcoin here. I think too many people want to own the actual asset, and I think that changes the game here a little bit
Yeah.
for the future. I mean, we really need to wait and see how this actually, takes hold. Are the financial institutions really going to sink their serious money here without holding on to the actual Bitcoin? We don't know. How much adoption is this going to take? I mean, you can see on my screen here, I mean, no one's buying any of these contracts past January.
Yeah,
Nobody wants to
I thought that
for the
was
volatility.
funny. Yeah. Last night it was
I mean,
like 2 contracts.
I mean, I think last night we were at 48.6 million, which was like 500 something contracts, and we're barely double that right now. So people are still, I mean, that's obviously another 48 million added to this. But in the grand scheme of things, in the grand scheme of the market cap of Bitcoin, this is nothing.
Yeah. Well, so it's like 5, right? So 5 times
5 Bitcoins per contract.
5 times 900. So
5.
4,500 coins.
So it's a total of $85,234,000 that have been transacted on this contract so far, and that's just not even 24 hours. So, I mean, that's an interesting.
What would be
amount.
really interesting is to follow the open interest data here going forward. But I can't wait till the options come. Geez, maybe you have to build up a bit of an inventory to be able to write options too, eh? So there might be that behind it as well.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Yeah, well, anyway, I mean, if anything, you know what, that looks like a nice little bear flag trying to form there, right?
Yeah. Oops.
But at least we got this thing finally out of the gate.
Look at how crazy some of these numbers are. I mean, you can just see that these things are corresponding to reload zones almost perfectly.
Well, and I made a tweet comment earlier. I said, with this kind of trading range, this would be like gold swinging $600 in a day.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is a trader.
What was the last time you saw gold trade $600 in a day?
Never.
All right. So the CME guys, they're just like, fuck it, why not? Let's just play ping pong here, man.
You get enough money in position. I mean, there's a lot to be made here.
Yeah. So, but I had also said too earlier, for everybody watching, if you want to trade this, the great part about Bitcoin is that these setups, they're all percentages, right? I mean, whether you're trading reload zones or whether you're trading bots, it's all percentages. So all you have to do is just reduce the number of Bitcoins that you're trading, just so that you don't breach that 5% rule if you're taking risk in the marketplace. So that's the good part about trading Bitcoin is, don't let the numbers scare you. It's just try and think of all this in percentages.
This is so cool. Can you guys see my fibs on my screen with this futures product here? Yeah. You guys see? I mean, you can see from where it opened up last night, we crashed straight down. And look where we rallied to. We hit Mountain Man, and then boom. And then look where the reload zone was, just below 78.6. And here we are bouncing again, and we're in between 50% level and 38.2. And I'd argue we just put in the top here.
Yeah, it looks very Emmy, doesn't it? Mind you, there's a cheeky little gap there. Watch out, too, for a nice little harmonic.
Yeah,
So,
we have to pay attention to how they're going to treat gaps on this contract and whether or not price is going to go. And, because sometimes these charts, they get really gappy and messed up.
Well, off of this lower time frame, I mean, ultimately, all those gaps will want to be filled in. But, yeah, it could be very choppy here for the first few days. If anything, if anything, we don't really want to see this thing close down on the day. That wouldn't really be a very good sign. We'd like to see it catch a bid here, but we'll see. Only time will tell. The interesting thing is, and I hope everybody can see Thomas's screen, there's a lot of traders here who they don't really have an opinion right now. They have to buy at like 18,665 there. They have to have bought, and if they didn't, then they're not following their trading plans. And that's a trader's life, and risk against the lows, rinse and repeat. If the lows fail, walk away. If they hold and it turns back up, move stop to break even after you've hit your 50% level on whatever you got left on the books, and let the wind take you where it can. Now I'm sounding like a broken record. So, all right. Thank you very much, Thomas. And we're sort of working away on this offering. Probably spend the next month sort of hammering out a little bit of a routine. If anything, Thomas, maybe while I'm playing my music, give me some sort of heads up that you're ready to go with your report. So we'll see how that goes. But thank you very much, our roving reporter, coming to us from the jungles of Southeast Asia today, right? No? All right.
Thing I want to show, and this is for the guys who have taken the advanced courses or paid attention to the spreads. My spreads are a little different than Brian's. I like to use the 3-month futures contract and use, mine hasn't changed. So I guess I'm back. I'm using the OKCoin spot. But anyway, you can see how much fluff has been built into the market up here. I mean, this is, I think, probably close to historic highs here in terms of the futures premium that's been built into the market. Everyone always goes, oh, why is OKCoin priced so much higher than every other market? That's because it's the futures market. And historically speaking, this has always been the most overpriced exchange because of that product. Now, you can get a pretty good gauge of when that market's going to roll over and try to revisit the spot price of all the other markets. And here you can kind of see that we've put in a pretty decent top here. And we're starting to come back, and all that fluff that's in the market at 20,575 compared to the futures down at 18.9 right now. And we've got a lot of room to come down here. And we could probably go all the way back. I like to use these levels. My blue and red line are kind of the return to normalcy levels. And there's a lot of open space down here, and that's really concerning. So if you do play the futures market on OKCoin, I don't know if anyone does, but this is going to come down. We've put in some definitive tops here, and it's about time to let the air out of the balloon.
Thanks, man. Way to ruin the
I know that's Brian's thing. I think I just took Brian's spiel because Brian likes to talk about the spreads, and
yeah, well,
I just took that away from him.
Let's see what my spread band looks like here. There's my spread band. We used to, the way it's funny, years gone by, we used to always say, well, if it trades at $100 premium, then it means the market's euphoric. So what do you think, guys? Is the market slightly euphoric right now? The interesting thing was when the market was right down here, you guys, I don't know whether you remember SegWit, right? The moment SegWit was called off, this thing just ratcheted right back. And did you guys hear recently that SegWit guy is starting to talk about it again? So, oh, Jesus. Now, I think the cool part about it, and if anything, Thomas, I think the market itself here is almost validated that your OK coin forwards are going to survive down the road, but they've actually built into the market the ability for us to go through some bearish period here, and things still be sort of business as usual. But no doubt about it, these premiums are just at idiotic levels. And actually, I have one screen, and we'll just sort of, we can't really discern anything out of it just yet, but I've put together a spread of holy geez, where's the chart I want to show you? Here it is. Oh, this is helpful. All right, so this is the futures market spread so far. So if anything, we have to let this build itself out and breathe and stuff. And in essence, at some point down the road, this image will start looking more like, where is it? This is the one. Ultimately, we want to get to this point. Once we get to this point, then we'll know that this is actually usable data. So it's not quite there just yet, is it? And you can see this is a graphic illustration of what Thomas was mentioning earlier, in that the deferred contracts just don't have any volume at all right now. The only volume that's coming in is the teal line, which is the spot contract. So. All right, that's about 9:30, so we better not get going too deep onto that. I think we'll probably leave that for today. Thank you so much, Thomas. Great job. And we got lots of time over the coming months to really sharpen this presentation up. So all you guys watching, you get really power-packed 5-10 minute presentation. And I think we have a pretty good idea of the sort of story out of Bitcoin right now. I still think on balance, the traders are just having fun with it out of the gate. And if anything, just like we said a moment ago, and Thomas was sort of telling you, and I think it's, if anything, we probably should have a fairly consistent message. I think if anything, we have to actually sort of let this breathe a little bit, just give this market some time to feel itself out. My hunch is if there is a big fat top coming in here and we should be shorting, I think we'll probably get some really nice short setups develop up in this area here. That wouldn't surprise me. And if anything, we just got to sort of just let this develop over time. Could we see a probe of these lows? Absolutely. Could we see a probe of the highs? Sure. This wick up here sure looks interesting. This wick up here looks interesting. The profile, I don't think it looks full just yet. It still looks very peaky, which tells me I think we probably got to still do some more business up here and maybe even some more business down here. So, I think we're still sort of stuck in that sort of it's just coming out of the gate. Let's let it breathe. I was a little worried there about a half hour ago that we were going to dump hard here, but you can even see the selling pressures abating a little bit. So that's encouraging. Yeah, like if we look at this 3 month, I'm a little worried about this trend line break here. And actually, it's interesting how we drew that line off of that low. If we lose that low, then I think we're toast. So if you like to follow those OK coin forwards, I think your level there to watch is 20,301. Yeah, so call it 20,300 bucks. We go through there, and I think we probably got to head lower. And actually interesting too, the forwards just in the short term are discounted to the cash market. So you can see the bearish pressure is still on this market here. And then of course there's Thomas's wonderful message about how ridiculously overbought we are. Thanks, Thomas. All right, guys, let's head on over, talk a little bit about altcoins. We did a bit of business here. And we did have quite a few questions, so I thought I'd just do a little bit of clarifying here. XDN, it turns out that the algo, the script that we wrote, came up with some funny orders and some funny levels. And I woke up this morning and I couldn't figure out for the life of me how the hell the system came up with a sell order at 72 here. I didn't mind, and it says here sell 44. The order was actually processed on BitRX at 72. So when I saw this error, I just, This is a sell here. You see that, Wayne? Yeah, it says sell there. So quite often what I do is if I see that a mistake has been made, believe it or not, the easiest thing psychologically, at least, you know, for me, the easiest thing psychologically to do is just address the mistake, fix it as fast as possible, and just move on. And psychologically, it's a huge relief if you just, holy shit, there's a mistake. All right, correct it. Great, mistakes corrected, move on. And now I don't even think about it. But I woke up this morning and I saw that the system had generated this sell order. And you can see it says sell at 44, but it generated 13.57. The sell order by Bittrex was actually done at 72. So that's a bit misleading for you guys. You're probably like, what the fuck is going on here? But if you actually do the math, 185,909 divided by 72, it comes out to this 13.5. So I saw that the system had entered the order as a mistake, and you know it happens in life. You know, if you can't build your plan and build your expectation when you come to trading on a daily basis to be able to handle the fact that mistakes will happen, and you like expect perfection, then you're actually setting yourself up for failure. You have to be flexible and understand, not like, holy shit, a mistake happened. Oh my God, it's the end of the world. It should be, oh shit, mistake happened. All right, what's our plan? Plan is try and correct it. All right, the order was entered at 72. I see that it was processed. The current offer now is 72. So if I literally just go and buy it right back, then we just clean the mistake up. Yep, okay, done. So that's basically what I did. Was the system entered an order that was by error, and I just, you know, I didn't bother with the dust, but I just quickly zipped in and just basically bought the position right back at what we sold it. So trying to explain what was going on there. Sorry if there was any confusion around that. We also just bought some of this CVC here, and I was working a bid this morning. It was interesting. I was sitting in the lounge, and there was a gentleman, XVC, is that the hell this thing I just bought? I think that's what it was. I'm seeing these W's coming in all over the place, just right, left, and center. And what I like to do for you guys is just simply, if I see them coming up, just post them in the lounge. Holy shit, look at this. Holy shit, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I mean, a W is a W is a W is a W. We already know that we're in trade location, and hopefully you guys can see we got like divergences trying to come in here. Nice, stupidly oversold condition, W's on OBVs, all that kind of fun stuff. It's near the bottom of value. And you know, just like we did on Digi and on what is it, on the XDN, and then what was it, we did another one, Doge, right? When I see a W, I'll just go and buy it. I don't have a problem with it, but the thing is I'm not going to chase. And so when I saw this W come in, it was sitting up here at about 88, and so I just went and threw my bid in at the W breakout level, 76.80 here. So as you can see, we just got filled on this, but somebody was asking in the lounge, could you explain your logic behind this? Hopefully this makes pretty simple sense. Bottom of the trading range, nice signs of divergence, and now it looks like our divergences are going to be confirmed here. Let's see how today ends. We don't know. It may be early. Again, you know, nice WE with Willie stupid oversold. So I'm liking what I'm seeing out of my momentum indicators. I'm loving trade location, and here's a nice good looking W. So I've got location, I've got internal confirmation, and I've got structure. So why not? Seemed to me to be a perfectly logical trade idea. And the interesting thing about this, of course, is if we do accept back into value above the POC, the top of value is all the way up here. All I have to do is get a revisit of this area here to get a free position established. So I absolutely love those kind of trades. So this is actually a really, really simple trade. Some of my other trades are much harder to explain. This one's really simple. And really, I don't have a problem if you want to do, if you already own some and you banged out doubles on previous trades. This is what I would consider adding another car. So, you know, maybe you did your first car, you bought this W here, and that's at 10,000, and at 20,000, boom, you got yourself a free position. Well, now, and maybe you waited till now, it doesn't really matter. Here, why don't we make these yellow? So I like to call this my first car. And this is how you get rich. Gordon, I guess, Gordon, you were the one who was asking about this. This is how you get fucking rich at this, Gordon. Seriously, man. You take the proceeds, because keep in mind, you sold half on a double. So technically you have a free position here. If you could have gotten a second double off, right, which would be at 40. Ooh, not quite. But you know, maybe you even did another. You could have taken the money that you got out of this, and you got a free trade now. Take your original capital and go and buy like this W here. Why don't we make that purple? Right, so now we'll call the purple your second car. And of course, that's from about 10,000. So at 20,000, boom, out goes half of this guy. Didn't quite get a double there. Now you've got two cars that are bought and paid for, and you've got your original capital that you used to buy this first car. Boom, I got my original capital back. Then I go put my original capital back to work. Boom, I got that back. Now I have two free positions. And here comes another car. So really, you know, if I don't know whether I trade this. I have to go back and look at the logs and see exactly what I've done. But just off the top of my head, I know I did own this previously. So let's just hypothetically call this my second car. In essence, I'm just taking my original Bitcoin that I invested here. I got it back, and now I'm just going to take my original capital, and I'm going to go and buy this again. And of course, I got my fills, so now I should get my orders to sell halves on doubles working right away. And I think, frankly speaking, that's more than achievable. So I hope that that explains the thinking there, Gordon. I don't know where you are, Gordon, but hopefully we did a good job there for you. Okay, and actually, frankly speaking, that's a cute little W there. As the Simpsons, they'd say, it's a mighty fine looking W there, English, but 'tis no barn. I kill myself. Okay, so we talked a little bit about that little quacker, and just, you know, for the record, XDN, where should I have my next order working on quacker? And I looked at this, right, and I look at this chart, and I'm like, fuck me, do I really want to get out of this? I just want to go and put this position back on and leave it alone. But my next order, sell order on quacker, is up in the 80s here, right? Because we bought some at 20. Let it go in the 40s, and our next level is in the mid 80s. So I readjusted all those levels appropriately. And if anything, that should be a really good lesson for all of you guys that never blindly trust these algos, scripts, whatever. Always a good idea just to keep a close eye on these things. Make sure that, yeah, indeed, those orders are correct. Because in essence, our little computer outsmarted itself today. Okay, so that's sort of some of the stuff I've been doing. Stock market's on an absolute tear here, which I think helps crypto. Crude still working the top. I see gold's trying to counter trend rally back into support, so that's good to see. Euro seems to be catching one hell of a bid here, quite a gap. I don't know what happened there. So risk on, risk on, risk on, kind of offy. Risk off, kind of uppy. Risk on. Bonds are weak, so risk off trade there is weak, and yen's not doing a hell of a lot. So pretty quiet across the board. And I guess we've gotten through the irrational exuberance window. Maybe because the NASDAQ is gapped higher here, maybe we could do some backfilling here because this looks pretty damn violent. Maybe that's when Bitcoin has to sort of clean itself up too. Tough to say. Pretty wild times we're living in, that's for darn sure. Okay, I think I'll probably leave the broader market review at that. Let's go take a look at a few of your ideas. And we've got a roving reporter. How are things looking, roving reporter? Oh, you got all the spreads on there short term, eh? You're watching those damn close. So roving reporters watching the spreads, and actually it's interesting on roving reporters page, you can see that the 3 months are trying to tick up through cash price, so maybe the market's getting a little happier over there in China. Okay, your list. Anybody remember what we left off with yesterday? I remember we looked at folding coin. I remember talking to you guys about that. QRL, maybe? I don't know. QRL. Yeah, cute little idea. Jeez, look at that OBV, eh? Damn. Get ready, people. I love when you can buy below value too. That's like a steal. Maybe work a bid down at this area here. Looks like there's a bit of a gap there. You can see she tried to bottom already once. So, I do love how we're getting sort of a nice turn here momentum-wise. Willie's stupid. OBV just looks awesome. So, no real W's yet, but you can see they've already tried to break W Hunter's hearts here. So, probably, one of these sort of nanny nibble kind of ideas against any of these lows. You can see, ironically enough, even with the price right here, if you had just bought against these lows here over the past like 6 months, you're really not dying that bad. And I could very easily see when this thing gets back into happy mode, we're probably going to go up and challenge these candle body highs up in there. So interesting how that's 70,000. So these guys love to do 10x on these guys. So interesting how this bottom's coming in around 6,000-7,000. Wouldn't shock me if your ultimate buy signal comes in sort of in and around these levels. So too early to call a bottom, but definitely very attractive levels. Has to do with tax plan anticipation to be approved. XBG is same on Trex on Polo. Seems the spread is kind of large. Is it? And keep in mind that Polo, man, they play some really weird games. Remember the other day I was telling you about XLM? XLM was sitting well above my sell level. The high here was 1598. I had my order at 1550. And on Polo, they just said, fuck you. All right, so get used to it. Welcome to crypto. See, look at that. Sons of bitches. 1536. What an insult, eh? So get used to it. That's crypto for you. All right, who's next? ZEC. ZEC. ZEC, you know me. Doubles, it's nice. I love that. Joshua, are you here? I love that gif or whatever the hell it is, meme. Doubles, it's nice. Nobody likes that? Anyway, what the hell am I looking for here? Trex? Where we like to look, eh? Do. Doesn't seem to like that. Oh, there it is. Well, another cute little bottom. You love when these little powerful W's come in on OBV and Willie at the same time. Oh, so awesome. I mean, what do you think, guys? Does it make sense that you're not really walking into a trap here now? I hope you guys can see that, because really that's the whole point of this website. Nobody is interested in this crap right now. There he is. Doubles. It's nice. Just got one on BAY. Oh, you bastard. Nicely done, Joshua. Doubles? That's great. Very nice doubles. Number one. So, you know, if you guys can learn this, it's so freaking powerful. If you see a W in OBV and a W in Willie at the same time. Can you guys see that? Can anybody? Am I just, am I talking out my butt here? I don't know, man. It's just such a powerful, powerful tool to use. Third best trader in Kazakhstan. That's great. Turn on your cam. Davos, it's nice. That's good. You guys make me laugh. Hey, I tell you, you know what? Anytime you guys think you got life tough, right? Anytime. My son yesterday didn't like the way his underpants felt, and literally on our way walking into A&W, he turned around and he just fucking clocked me, just out of the blue. Boom! So anytime you guys think it's rough having to get a punch in the nose in the market, you don't know what tough is. So you guys may look and laugh and go, geez, why is Brian so giddy and stuff? I mean, this is the good part about life, guys. Enjoy this. So anyway, long and short of it here is incredibly powerful trading tool. Learn it, live it, love it. This is the shit. I don't know whether I would chase this here. You're a little bit late. Maybe work RLZs kind of stuff. Go down to like the hourly chart or something. This is a 4-hour chart. You can probably find a nice gap in here. Doubles, it's nice. Oh, I don't see any gaps. Oh, there's one. Geez, that's a long way down there, right? So it's probably going to take a long time to get filled, but it is there. And notice we got this railroad tracks bottom here. This actually creates like what they call an island reversal. So really interesting price action there. But against this tail, so obviously this is like a rage quit. Ah, I hate you all. Get me out of here. You're all losers, right? Dump, 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 dump. That's this guy. Then somebody just absorbed all his selling, says, okay, fine, fuck you. Get out of here. We'll take your coin off of you. And then there's always sort of like the test. Okay, is this low for real? And this nice railroad tracks. I think that's a pretty solid bottom on this name right there. And Mr. Doubles is nice. You got your nice little juicy gap sitting right there. So put them levels in your pipe and smoke them. Throw that in the lounge. There you go, Mr. Doubles. So let's see where that is. Yeah, well, you know, what that would basically imply is a test of these. And look at that, below value. That would just be the sick fucking traders trade level down there. Anyway, keep it on the radar screen. You never know. Higher time frame. This thing, of course, looks pretty washed out. So, you know, nanny nibbles kind of stuff. I wouldn't have a problem just going and picking a little bit of this up for a little old lady down here. You want to try and time your purchases a little better. Like I said, you know, hunt these W's, you know, down in this area here would be awesome for stinky bids. All right. Well, that's that. Who's next? Candy. Whenever I see Can, I always think of Oscar and Muak. You guys probably don't know who Oscar is, but wow. Yeah, that's a good looking chart. But you guys probably are all familiar with Muak. And actually, we haven't seen Mr. Billionaire lately on the site. He who mustn't be named. That's probably the best way for me to bring him out of the woodwork. We had one site member when this thing was halted. He had a whole bunch of sell orders working all the way up here, and he got filled on the whole goddamn the whole order book. He just like cleaned up when they reorganized this coin, and I think it's because of Jeremy and the way he just totally raped this market that now Bittrex goes and just like cancels all open orders on coins that are being reorganized. Like, do you guys notice that? What was it? What was the coin that was done recently where they did that? And it just, everybody in the lounge is just like, oh, those motherfuckers, they did it. Those sons of bitches. NAV, was that what it was? There was one, it was just like a few days ago, and the whole damn site was up in arms over it. And I think it was because of exactly this. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if fucking Jeremy made 100 fucking grand off of this trade. But anyway, so they did this funny sort of reorganization, brought the coin right back out, and it had to come right back down and sort of settle back down. Maybe they have plans to take it right back up top here. I don't know. I would say, technically speaking, that this candle wick up here is actually a pretty good objective. Let's keep that in mind. Where's that? That's way up there. So there's a bit of money to be made here. Where is that level? Oh, there it is, way up there. So there's the top of that wick up there. I think also these wicks here, they probably look very realistic. That one and that one. And then, of course, you got a whole bunch of cluster of highs there. There. So here we are at 453. I can see resistance at 1655. So that's like a triple. Triple? I don't know. You make money on a triple? If we get a test of this wick, that's 10x. What do you think, guys? Anybody up for a 10x? Not a bad risk. And of course, if this thing really does get going and we start working our way up here, that's 20x just to test that peak. So look at this OBV too. Like, geez, somebody tell me? I mean, maybe I'm not really understanding this. Is this message bullish? Is money going into this thing, or is money going out? It looks to me like money's going in. So, I mean, the irony of it all is a good buy is a good buy is a good buy. I'd have to say anywhere, there is the candle gap that needed to be filled in. So there's the bottom of that gap. I think I did do some buying down in here, and I was able to get a double off on this rally here. So I was kind of fortunate. Could I go and justify buying the coins back here today? Yeah. It's not a bad trade at all. And the pot coins, they've treated us pretty well. In fact, I think I'm gonna have to go and call my broker here. Pardon me for a moment. Ooh, I like this too. I like when you see these coins are trading like 30 Bitcoin. Because it's sort of like, when coins have their big euphoric blow off top, you'll see that these tops will be like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Bitcoins. But just as they're sort of getting going, they trade these kind of volumes, 10 Bitcoins, 20 Bitcoins, 30, 40, 50, right? So that's a good sign that, hey, it is moving up, but we're not getting in, as the pikers are coming in. So that's kind of interesting. I've got a bit of this, so I don't know whether I need any more. But not a bad idea whatsoever. Not a bad idea at all. And you know, it'd be nice is if Bitterx just somewhere right on here said, you have X amount of coins, and in Bitcoin that is worth this. I find that so irritating how this site doesn't even have that. It's such a simple function. There's no way for just summary that tells you exactly how many coins you own here. It's really irritating. Anyway, Brian's just ranting. Yeah, but that's a different page, right? This is frustrating. Oh, okay, yeah, there it is. Not really. It says currently available, so that's minus all your open orders. I know. See? Just out of curiosity, I thought I'd just go and check, Wayne. It says currently available, but I don't know whether that's the total that I own. Well, I don't want to do that though, because that will just enter in the amount that I have available if I have like orders to sell working, open orders here. So that's not including this stuff, right? And it would be nice if there was just a nice little summary that just said you own X amount of coins worth X amount of whatever's. Anyway, all right, I'm going off on a tangent here. Sorry. All right. Yeah, I've got like about a fifth of a Bitcoin of this. I suppose I could always go buy some more, but there's no urgency to own this. Buy any more of this. I noticed our little bats moving up here nicely. Oh, a little too late. Look at that W that came in off of Willie, W off of OBV. Chung, 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 chung. Up she goes. Yeah, actually, you guys you're kind of lucky. You're in a very fortunate little window here, especially if you're brand new to the site. This kind of market isn't around like every day. Look at that beautiful chart. Who is it? Oh yeah, Mr. Joshua said he just got a nice double off of here. This great looking charts. Very pretty. There was one that was setting up. There wasn't it Mosecoin, MCO. So if you're like, well, D-Ways, Brian, you never give us any ideas to buy. I think this one's just sitting here waiting to be bought. Well, it was right down in a reload zone, if I'm not mistaken. I think this is the one. Wasn't this the one we were looking at the other day? I seem to recall. So there are lots of coins that are just sitting here waiting to go. Jesus, look at this GLD took off here. Woo-hoo! Does everybody see the divergence? Willie Stupid? Oh, another fucking Davo. Can you see the Davo here? Beautiful double bottom too. This is a pretty simple trade. You see that? So here's somebody, let's see, somebody I've never seen. Bill. Hey, Bill's got a handsome picture. There's Bill. Smile, Bill. Can you understand why this would be a double? A double. Why this would be a buy signal? And if you can't, my job is to somehow educate you to the point where you can understand why this is a buy signal. That's a pretty powerful one. Anyway, didn't mean to call you out there. He's going, holy shit, what the hell just happened? Oh, you bought it 900. Oh, you dog. All right. So all right, maybe you can teach me something. Okay, let's keep moving on. What time is it? Holy shit, it's already after 10 o'clock. Okay, well, I've blabbed away for an hour, so I guess we'll pick up where we left off tomorrow. Somebody try and remember where I left off. What was it? It was Candy, eh? So I'll just type here. Left off. How we do that? All right, Mr. Roving Reporter. Oh, he's gone. Oh, well. Thank you very much, Thomas, if you watch this later. Great job. Thank you, Garrett and James. Awesome jobs on helping me with the school term. Thank you, Bill, for putting up with me, putting you on the spot there. I hope you guys enjoyed the presentation today. Oh, excellent. Awesome. So have yourselves a great day. Try to play from a position of strength. Try to build a trading plan to try and help you reduce your anxiety. The great part about it is if you are in a position to go shopping, I mean, damn, this is the time of year to go shopping, guys. Trade location, signs of divergence, structure, go, make a pile of money, make me proud, and we'll see everybody in the lounge. Have a great day, everybody. All the best, and bye for now.